When a woman's heart remains at peace amid chaos, it is one of the clearest signs that Allah is protecting her from evil people. Life will always bring trials. There will be moments when others will try to hurt her, tarnish her name, or break her spirit. There will be times when people she trusted the most turn out to be the ones who betray her. Yet, even in such moments, she doesn't lose herself to panic or anger. She doesn't allow her heart to be consumed by bitterness. Instead, she holds onto the rope of Allah tightly, and that connection becomes her anchor. When the storm rages around her, her heart stays firm because she knows that everything happening is under Allah's control. She whispers *Hasbun Allah, Huwa Nimal Wakil *, not just with her tongue, but with the conviction that Allah will handle what she cannot. That peace is not something she created by herself, it is a gift from Allah, a divine shield that stops the poison of people from reaching her soul. Evil people thrive when they see fear, confusion, and desperation in others. They feed off the reaction, they use it as fuel to hurt more. But when they try to harm her and instead find her calm, it unsettles them. They can't understand why their schemes are not breaking her. What they don't realize is that her calmness comes from the one who is greater than all of their plots combined. She understands that panic solves nothing, but faith changes everything. Even when she feels pain deep inside, she knows that complaining to Allah is more powerful than fighting with words against the wrongdoers. Her peace is not ignorance of reality, she is fully aware of what is happening, but she also knows that no injustice lasts forever, and no oppressor can outlast the decree of Allah. This tranquility becomes a layer of protection. Without it, she might make rushed decisions, fall into arguments, or even lose her dignity trying to defend herself in ways that only cause more harm. But because Allah has settled her heart, she can think clearly. She can respond rather than react. She can choose silence when silence will protect her. She can walk away when walking away will save her. The calmness allows her to see what others miss. Where someone else might get dragged into endless fights, she can step back and leave the matter to Allah, knowing that His justice is more precise and more complete than anything she could achieve on her own. This peace also protects her spiritually. Without it, resentment could creep into her heart and push her away from worship. Pain could make her doubt Allah's plan. But Allah protects her by keeping her heart soft in His remembrance. She still prays on time. She still raises her hands in dua. She still wakes in the quiet of the night, tears falling not because of what people did to her, but because of how much she needs Allah's closeness. She understands that holding grudges is a burden she does not need to carry. Letting go is not weakness, it is trusting that Allah will replace every loss with something better. Even in the smallest moments, this peace is visible. When people speak about her behind her back, she hears of it and yet chooses not to let it ruin her day. When someone tries to provoke her, she can smile and walk away. When a door closes unexpectedly, she believes that Allah has kept her from entering for a reason. She sees life through the lens of a believer who knows that nothing escapes the knowledge of Allah. That perspective removes the need for revenge. It removes the desperation to prove herself to people. It replaces that with the desire to remain pleasing to Allah, regardless of who misunderstands her. Sometimes, people around her might even mistake this peace for weakness. They might think she's not defending herself enough. They might think she's not strong, because she's not fighting back in the way the world defines strength. But what they don't realize is that this is the highest form of strength, the ability to remain composed when tested, to keep faith intact when the world tries to shake it. It is easy to explode in anger, but it takes true courage to remain calm while trusting that Allah is fighting your battles for you. Her peace amid chaos is not something every person has. Many people break under pressure. Many lose their principles when they are wronged. but she has been granted something that money cannot buy, and status cannot secure a heart that knows where to turn. Even when she feels lonely in her struggle, she knows she is never alone. Allah's protection is not always about removing the difficulty immediately. Sometimes it's about keeping her heart untouched by the corruption of others while she walks through the difficulty. And because her heart is protected, the harm of people never defines her. If you want, I can now move to the second keynote and expand it in the same style. When Allah blesses a woman with an inner sense that warns her about harmful situations or people, it is a sign of His special protection over her. This guidance, often called intuition, is not just a random feeling, it is a subtle form of divine direction. She may not see the danger with her eyes, she may not have all the evidence in front of her, but her heart feels a certain heaviness or discomfort that tells her something is not right. She listens to that feeling and chooses to step back, to delay a decision, or to remove herself from a certain space. That quiet decision ends up saving her from much pain. Many people only realize something was wrong after they have been harmed, but she is protected before the harm even reaches her. This is because her heart is tuned to guidance from Allah, and her trust in Him makes her pay attention to the signs He places within her. Sometimes, this guidance comes in the form of unease when meeting someone for the first time. They might be polite, they might say all the right words, but something inside her feels unsettled. She may not have proof, but she chooses not to open her life to them. Later, she learns that they were not as sincere as they seemed. Other times, it is when she is about to make a choice, a business deal, a friendship, a step towards a new chapter in her life, and everything looks perfect on the outside, but her heart whispers, wait. She obeys that whisper, and soon a hidden truth is revealed that could have harmed her deeply. People around her might dismiss such feelings as overthinking, but what they do not see is that this sense is a mercy from Allah, steering her away from traps she cannot yet see. This protective guidance is especially powerful in a world where appearances can be deceiving. Evil people rarely show their true faces immediately. They may come with charm, with promises, with words that seem caring. But Allah places in her heart a certain discomfort, so she does not get carried away by the surface. It is like a warning light in her soul, flashing before the danger becomes clear, and because she is connected to Allah, she does not ignore it. She has learned that when her heart feels unsettled despite things appearing fine, it is not something to brush aside. It is a signal to slow down, to pray istikhara, to seek counsel, and to avoid rushing into anything that could harm her faith, dignity, or peace. This sense also works in the opposite way. Sometimes she feels an unexpected peace when making a decision that others may doubt or question. She may choose a path that seems harder or less attractive to the world, yet she feels no heaviness about it. That calmness is also a form of divine guidance, pushing her towards what is best for her even if it is not immediately obvious. In both cases, the unease that warns her and the peace that encourages her, the source is the same, Allah's protection manifesting through her heart. She understands that this gift is not about being clever or having extraordinary intelligence. It is about being spiritually receptive. If her heart was filled with arrogance, constant sin, or heedlessness of Allah, she would not feel these subtle nudges as clearly. But because she keeps her relationship with Allah alive, because she guards her prayers, remembers Him often, and seeks His pleasure, her heart is in a state where it can sense the warnings He sends. Just as a polished mirror reflects light better than one covered in dust, her heart reflects truth better because she cleanses it with hikr, dua, and repentance. There are moments when she cannot fully explain her decision to others. They might press her to explain why she said no to a proposal, why she turned down an opportunity, or why she avoided certain company. She may only be able to say, "It didn't feel right." Some may laugh at that, but she knows that her safety is more important than satisfying people's curiosity. She knows that the one who protected her heart from being comfortable in a harmful situation is the same one who will replace what she left behind with something better. She does not owe anyone an explanation for following the guidance Allah places within her. Even when her decisions seem strange to others, time often proves her right. Eventually, the truth about a person or a situation emerges, and those around her begin to understand why she chose as she did. But for her, the satisfaction is not in being proven right. It is in knowing that Allah saved her without her even fully realizing what He was saving her from at the time. This kind of protection is quiet and unseen, but it is incredibly powerful. It stops harm before it even has a chance to touch her life. If you want, I can now expand *** keynote 3 ** in the same style and length. When Allah protects a woman from evil people, one of the signs is that she experiences timely rescues that seem to happen at just the right moment. These are not mere coincidences or strokes of luck. They are moments where Allah's care becomes clear, even if others may not recognize it. Just when someone is about to take advantage of her, something unexpected happens to interrupt their plan. It could be a sudden change in circumstances, an unplanned delay, or the appearance of a person who unknowingly shields her from harm. These interventions often seem small at the time, but later she realizes they were perfectly placed to prevent something much worse from happening. She learns that her safety is not dependent on her own strength alone, but on the one who controls all events, who can change the entire course of a situation in a single moment. Sometimes this rescue comes in the form of a door closing. She might have been eager to walk through it, thinking it was the best thing for her. She could have been pursuing an opportunity, a relationship, or a plan she felt would bring her happiness. But suddenly, without warning, it falls apart. At first, she may feel disappointed or confused. She might wonder why Allah allowed her efforts to go to waste. Yet with time, the truth emerges. She discovers that what seemed like a loss was actually a shield protecting her from deceit, exploitation, or heartbreak. That sudden closure was not a rejection, it was a rescue in disguise. Other times, the rescue is more visible. It could be that when someone tries to harm her, another person steps in, perhaps without even knowing the full story. A kind word, a diversion, or an unexpected arrival breaks the momentum of an evil plan. It could be a stranger in a public place who intervenes at the right moment, or a friend who calls just as she is about to make a dangerous decision, causing her to rethink it. These small shifts in timing are not accidents. They are precise arrangements by the one who knows her vulnerabilities and guards her from dangers she cannot see. Even delays can be part of this divine rescue. She might be running late for a meeting, missing a bus, or experiencing an inconvenient change in schedule. At the time, it feels frustrating, but later she learns that this delay saved her from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. What she saw as an obstacle was actually a protective barrier. This changes the way she views life. Instead of complaining about every interruption to her plans, she begins to see them as possible acts of mercy. She learns to trust that Allah's timing is not just perfect for granting blessings, but also perfect for blocking harm. Sometimes, the rescue is internal rather than external. She might be just about to agree to something harmful when a sudden clarity fills her heart, making her change her mind at the last second. This shift could happen in the middle of a conversation, a transaction, or even a moment of temptation. It is as though a light switches on inside her, showing her the danger she was about to walk into. That moment of realization is as much a rescue as a physical intervention, because it stops the harm before it begins. Over time, she begins to notice a pattern. She realizes that whenever she is saved from harm in these ways, it is often linked to her dua, her trust, and her effort to please Allah. Even when she does not explicitly ask for protection, the sincerity of her heart keeps her under His care. She starts to remember times in her life where she thought she was simply lucky, but now she understands it was Allah's plan all along. This awareness increases her gratitude, and her gratitude strengthens her connection to Him, which in turn invites more of His protection. These timely rescues are also a source of comfort when she feels outnumbered or powerless. Evil people may seem to have more resources, more influence, or more control over situations, but she knows that Allah's ability to change outcomes is greater than all of their schemes combined. She can be standing at the edge of a trap without realizing it, and yet in an instant He can pull her away from it. This gives her a quiet confidence in life, not arrogance, but a sense of security that her safety is in the hands of the One who never sleeps, never forgets, and never miscalculates. With each rescue, her faith deepens. She learns to surrender her fears, to let go of the illusion that she must foresee and control every danger. She still takes precautions and uses wisdom, but she no longer lives in constant anxiety about what others might do to her. She has seen enough to know that Allah's plan operates in ways she cannot predict, and that His help often comes quietly, in moments others would overlook. This makes her more patient when faced with closed doors, delays, or sudden changes, because she knows these could be part of yet another rescue she has not yet understood. When Allah protects a woman from evil people, one of the clearest signs is that her reputation remains untouched despite lies being spread about her. There will always be people who feel threatened by her dignity, her success, or even her peace of mind. Some will resort to false accusations, twisting her words, inventing stories, and presenting them as truth. They hope to tarnish her image, to make others doubt her character, and to isolate her from support. Yet, time after time, their efforts collapse. The falsehoods they spread may travel quickly at first, but they cannot last. The truth finds its way to the surface because Allah Himself protects her honor. While the lies may cause her temporary pain, they never truly succeed in defining how people see her in the long run. Her dignity stays intact, and often, the very attempts to disgrace her become reasons for her being elevated in the sight of Allah and in the hearts of those who matter. She understands that reputation is not something she can completely control. She cannot stop people from talking, from making assumptions, or from believing rumors. What she can control is her own conduct. When attacked with lies, she chooses to maintain her principles rather than lower herself to the level of those who try to harm her. She knows that Allah is watching, and His judgment is far more important than the court of public opinion. Instead of chasing every rumor, defending herself to every ear that hears a falsehood, she focuses on living in a way that constantly reflects truthfulness. Her life becomes the evidence, her consistent character the defense, and her patience the shield that Allah places over her. There are times when the lies might spread widely, and it may seem as though many believe them. In those moments, she remembers that even the best of people, including the prophets, were accused of things they never did. The pain of being misunderstood is not new to the righteous. She takes comfort in knowing that Allah allowed such tests not because of her weakness, but to strengthen her, to cleanse her, and to draw her nearer to Him. She trusts that the One who controls the hearts of people can turn the opinions of others in her favor at the right moment, or make their opinions irrelevant to her peace. Sometimes, the very people who once believed the lies return to her later with regret, realizing they had been misled. They see through the deception over time, because lies have an expiration date. Truth may be delayed, but it never disappears. In other cases, Allah places in the hearts of some people an instinctive respect for her that remains unshaken no matter what they hear. Even if rumors reach them, they refuse to believe them because they have seen her character firsthand. That trust is a blessing from Allah, a sign that He guards her reputation in the hearts of those whose respect matters. She also notices that when she leaves her defense to Allah, He responds in ways far more powerful than she could have managed on her own. There might be unexpected events that expose the deceit of those who spoke against her. A slip of the tongue, an inconsistency in their stories, or a completely unrelated occurrence might unravel their entire plot. The same mouths that once spread lies end up contradicting themselves. The truth emerges without her having to exhaust herself in battles that would have drained her emotionally and spiritually. Her restraint in the face of slander becomes a source of inner strength. It teaches her that not every attack deserves a reaction, and not every accusation requires a defense. The people who truly know her will not be swayed by baseless claims, and those eager to believe lies are not worth convincing. This wisdom allows her to preserve her energy for what truly matters: her relationship with Allah, her obligations, and her growth. She refuses to let the noise of falsehood distract her from her purpose. In some cases, the lies spoken against her end up becoming a means of her elevation. People see how she reacts with patience and grace, and their respect for her grows. They realize that a person who can maintain composure under unjust criticism must have a strength that comes from faith. The ones who spread the lies, on the other hand, reveal more about their own character than hers. With every false word they utter, they chip away at their own credibility, while hers remains intact. She knows that every word spoken about her is recorded by Allah. Those who lie will have to answer for every syllable, and those who stayed silent in the face of injustice will also be questioned. This awareness makes her less concerned about immediate vindication. She is patient because she knows the ultimate judgment will be perfect and inescapable. This patience is not weakness, it is a deep trust in the divine justice that never fails. Over time, she learns to see these moments of slander not as purely negative, but as hidden opportunities. They allow her to purify her intentions, to detach her sense of self, worth from the opinions of people, and to place her reliance entirely on Allah. Each false rumor becomes a reminder that her value does not decrease when others fail to see it. The one who truly knows her is enough for her, and He is the one who will guard her name in this life and the next. When Allah protects a woman from evil people, one of the ways it becomes clear is when she gradually loses interest in toxic circles that could harm her faith, dignity, or peace of mind. This distancing does not always happen suddenly. Sometimes it is a slow process where she begins to feel out of place among people she once thought were her closest friends or trusted companions. Conversations that once entertained her now feel empty or uncomfortable. Gatherings that once made her feel included now seem heavy and draining. This shift is not random, it is Allah removing her heart's attachment from places and people that would pull her away from what is good for her. While it may feel confusing at first, it is in fact a mercy. It is better for her to be isolated for a time than to remain in an environment where her soul is being harmed. At first, she might try to resist the change. She may wonder why she no longer enjoys the same company, why her laughter feels forced, why her heart feels uneasy even in familiar settings. She might think she is the problem, or that she is being ungrateful for the people in her life. But with reflection, she begins to realize that the issue is not that she has changed for the worse. It is that Allah is refining her heart, making her sensitive to what does not benefit her. Toxic circles often mask themselves as friendships, support systems, or communities. They might speak kindly to her face but mock others behind their backs. They might normalize gossip, jealousy, and competition, or they might subtly pressure her to compromise her values. Without Allah's protection, she could easily be drawn deeper into such patterns without realizing the harm. The loss of interest is a shield. It means that before the harm can fully penetrate her life, her own heart turns away from it. Even if her mind cannot explain why, she starts to feel restless in spaces that are not healthy for her. She stops finding joy in conversations filled with negativity. She begins to notice the discomfort after participating in gossip. She sees the emptiness of constant comparisons. This is Allah making her heart incompatible with environments that could stain her faith or rob her peace. Sometimes this separation happens through external events. A disagreement, a move to a new place, a shift in life, circumstances, all of these can be tools that Allah uses to create distance between her and those who are not meant to remain in her life. At first, these changes may feel like losses. She may even grieve relationships that once meant a lot to her. But as time passes, she sees how the absence of certain people has allowed her to grow, to focus on her connection with Allah, and to invest in relationships that are more sincere and uplifting. In some cases, Allah's protection comes in the form of showing her the truth about people she once admired. She may witness hypocrisy, dishonesty, or harmful behavior that she never noticed before. While the realization can be painful, it is also freeing. She understands that Allah exposed these traits to protect her from being overly influenced or dependent on people who do not have her best interests at heart. This awareness helps her create boundaries not out of arrogance, but out of self-preservation for her faith and well-being. As she steps away from toxic circles, she may face misunderstandings. Others might accuse her of being distant, arrogant, or unfriendly. They might try to guilt her into returning to the old patterns. But she remains firm because she knows that her relationship with Allah matters more than their approval. This is not an act of cutting people off harshly. It is an act of choosing spaces where her soul can breathe, where her values are respected, and where her heart feels light. She begins to understand that not every connection is meant to last a lifetime. Some people are in her life only for a season, and when that season ends, holding on to them can cause more harm than letting them go. This realization removes the fear of loneliness. She comes to see that being alone in peace is far better than being surrounded by people who pull her away from Allah. And often, after she makes space by leaving what is toxic, Allah replaces it with companions who are genuine, supportive, and a source of encouragement in her faith. This process of losing interest in toxic circles also deepens her self-awareness. She becomes more selective about the company she keeps, more mindful of the influence others have on her thoughts and actions. She learns to prioritize quality over quantity in her relationships. She values sincerity, kindness, and honesty over superficial charm or shared entertainment. Her standard for friendship is no longer just who makes her feel included, but who makes her feel closer to Allah. Over time, she realizes that this distancing was never about rejection from others, it was about protection from Allah. He was removing her from places where she could be harmed spiritually or emotionally, even if she could not see the danger at the time. And in every step away from what is unhealthy, she is being guided towards something purer, safer, and more beneficial for her soul. When Allah protects a woman from evil people, one of the strongest shields He grants her is the ability to use dua as her first and constant weapon. For her, dua is not an afterthought when all else fails. It is the starting point before taking any step. When trouble approaches, when she senses deceit, When she feels the weight of someone's ill intentions, her instinct is to raise her hands to the one who sees all. She knows that while people's actions are limited by what they can physically do, Allah's power is without limits. In that moment of turning to Him, she is already surrounded by protection, because she has placed her affairs in the hands of the one who cannot be overpowered. This habit of seeking Allah's help first is what keeps her safe in ways she cannot fully comprehend. Her dua is not always lengthy or filled with eloquent words. Sometimes it is a simple whisper from the depths of her heart, a single sentence carrying her trust. She may say, Ya Allah, protect me from those who wish me harm, and with that, she hands over her fears, her worries, and her vulnerabilities. This act of surrender transforms her outlook. Instead of being consumed by anxiety about what others might do to her, she focuses on what Allah can do for her. This shift in perspective removes the feeling of helplessness because she knows she is speaking directly to the one who controls hearts, circumstances, and outcomes. This reliance on dua is not born overnight. It grows from experiences where she has seen Allah answer her in ways that left no doubt in her mind. She remembers times when she was cornered by someone's malice, and she found no escape through her own efforts. But after crying out to Allah, she watched doors open, hearts soften, or plans against her collapse in unexpected ways. Each of these moments strengthens her conviction that dua is not just a ritual, it is a weapon sharper than any argument, stronger than any defense she could build for herself. When she uses dua this way, she understands that it is not just about asking for protection, but also about asking for clarity, patience, and wisdom. She does not only pray that evil people be kept away, she prays that she is guided to act in ways that keep her safe, to speak words that do not feed their schemes, and to maintain a heart that remains uncorrupted by hatred. She knows that evil can harm the soul as much as it can harm the body or reputation, so her dua covers both the seen and the unseen dangers. Sometimes the protection she asks for comes in a form she didn't expect. She may pray to be kept away from harm, and instead of seeing the person exposed or removed immediately, she notices her own heart losing interest in them, her own steps moving away from situations that could entangle her in their plans. She recognizes that this too is an answer to her dua. Other times, she prays for help in a specific matter, and Allah responds by giving her a different solution altogether, one that resolves the problem more completely than she imagined. Each time this happens, her trust in Allah deepens, and she becomes even more committed to making dua her first response, not her last resort. Her connection to dua also acts as a shield against despair. Evil people often try to make their targets feel powerless, to trap them in fear or hopelessness. But a woman who knows how to call upon Allah never truly feels powerless. Even when she has no one to defend her, even when she has no evidence to prove her innocence, even when she cannot control the actions of those against her, she still holds in her hands a means of calling upon the Lord of the worlds. That awareness alone keeps her from crumbling under pressure. She also knows that dua is not only about asking for rescue after harm has begun. It is also about asking for protection before the harm even comes. Her daily prayers include supplications for safety, for guidance, for being surrounded by righteous company, and for being distanced from those with harmful intentions. By making dua a habit in peaceful times as well as in hardship, she builds a wall of protection around her life long before she faces a test. Her belief in the power of dua shapes the way she deals with people. She does not waste her energy plotting revenge or trying to outmaneuver those who wish her harm. Instead, she invests her energy in worship, knowing that Allah's justice is far greater than anything she could arrange herself. This not only protects her physically and emotionally, but it also preserves her dignity. She leaves the matter in Allah's hands, trusting that He will deal with people according to His perfect knowledge. With time, those around her notice something different about her. They see her calm in situations that would break others. They see her patience when faced with unjust treatment. They see her ability to move forward without bitterness. What they may not realize is that behind all of this is a heart that constantly seeks refuge in Allah through dua. This constant connection to her Creator becomes her fortress, invisible to the eye, but unbreakable by the hands of any human being.